to my channel, and today we are doing another review on a new foundation, and this foundation here is going to be by Covergirl, and it is their new Trublend Matte Made Foundation, and the bottles will look like this here. Now, Covergirl claims that this is going to be a comfortable matte foundation, and it's supposed to also be transfer resistant. And you guys know how I feel about anybody making claims that a foundation or a product makes, you know, something transfer resistant or anything of resistant. You know how I feel about that. I just don't completely believe in those type of things, but hey, we're just going to still test it out. And today I am going to go ahead and try to do a demo for you guys again, because I've already done one before. I just didn't like the video that I had, and I was also missing a clip where I was talking and I just don't know where it was. So I'm going to try and re-record it. And first of all, I am going to see about doing you guys some swatches on my face. And the color that I had the first time, if you watch my Kat Von D video, it's the one that I posted before this, you see that I kind of look a little bit, you know, warm reddish tone in the video, and I feel like that's because the foundation that, or the color that I chose, it actually did end up oxidizing, and I didn't realize that it was as red as it was. So yeah, it wasn't like the perfect color for me, and now that I'm looking at it under some more lights, it definitely doesn't look like too awesome of a color. It actually looks great in the bottle looking at it. But let's stop jabbering. Let me stop jabbering. I'm going to do the first deep shade that came in the actual packaging, and I'll try to insert a clip or show you guys the box, even though you've probably seen it a million gazillion times already. But I'm going to swatch them all over my face, and I'm going to start with the color. It's going to be D10. I'm going to put that right there, and you see it's definitely like a yellow golden shade. And if you've been watching me, or if you know me well, you know that I really don't tend to go for yellow shades. I like just flat out neutral shades. I don't like it too yellow, I don't like it too red, so I just go for the neutral shades. I find that those work a whole lot better for me, or I like those a whole lot better, and they actually match me a whole lot better. The next shade that I'm going to swatch beside that one is the color D15. And in person, these shades, I don't know like if they're translating to camera, but this shade is definitely like really reddish orangey on me, and again, I don't like those type of shades, but hey, you know, this is a good way for you guys to actually see the colors as well. The next shade that I'm going to swatch is D20. D20 looks like this here. And it's actually, in my opinion, it's not as neutral as I would probably want it to be. And I actually feel like it's a little olivey. It's not completely neutral. It's not too yellow or anything like that, but I don't completely think like it's neutral. Whenever I put it with another one of my regular foundation, it definitely doesn't look completely neutral at all. It looks, you know, it really looks olivey. I don't know how to describe it more than that, but yeah. The next shade we are going to place on or swatch is D30, and this was a shade that I actually had on in the last video, and like I said, now that I'm in more light, I'm like, girl, why did you even have that on? But hey, you know, I still make mistakes as well, you guys. I'm not perfect whatsoever. So that, it may not have been D30. It may have been D40. Because that one's definitely orange. The next one is D40. I'm going to put a little bit more for you guys to be able to see. But that one is like a peachy tone shade. Like it's so weird looking. And I'm honestly like, to be perfectly honest, like I don't really like any of the shades, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't. But yeah, I might go with the D20, and that one's right here. Like I said, it looks really olivey. Like, yeah, I don't quite like it, but it's closest to neutral as I'm thinking I'm gonna get. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead and try and swatch a few more shades, even though they go into the darker side. So, but give me a second. Alright, so moving on, I'm going to swatch D50. Straight on, D50 looks really honestly way better than the other ones, even though it is reddish orangey. It looks a whole lot better than the other ones, and I didn't try this the first time. So yeah, let's keep going. The next one I'm going to try out is D60, or if it wants to pump. Ugh. This is D60, and that's a definite no-go. The next one is D70. And honestly, that looks really like something I would actually wear, to be perfectly honest. But D50, even though, like I said, it looks kind of reddish tone, it looks better than what the D20 looks like. So I'm going to take all of that off, and I'm going to try and swatch, what was that? D50 and D20. So on this side, I'm going to do D20. I'm going to use my fingers to apply it. You see, like it, ooh, it looks so muddy, greenish looking, like it's, ooh, no. On the other side, I'm gonna try D50. And see, it's like so red. It doesn't look super bad as it looks like on camera, but it's definitely red. Alright, so I wanted to show you real quick, fast and hurry. This side over here is actually D40 by itself. which doesn't look too horribly bad, but it's, in my opinion, it's giving off an orangey pinky shade in person. And so I mixed D40 and D10 together and got this shade right here, which is still a little bit too light for me and still on the yellow side, but I'm thinking that may go a little bit better than just D40 over here, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm definitely not a big fan of, because like I said, I don't like warm tones. I like neutral tones, and I just don't like it. And so let me try and see if I can come up with a little bit of a concoction, and I will be right back. Okay, so along with their foundations, they sent, I believe, 4 primers, and I'll list them in the video or down below. And the one that I'm, of course, going to choose is the pore minimizing one, and it says that it visibly reduces and blurs pores while mattifying shine, and it creates the perfect canvas for foundation. It's long lasting and has a weightless feel. It's oil free, fragrance free, and suitable for all skin types. And I did, and like I said, I've already tried this all out, so I can tell you I do like this this primer. It does feel like super amazing. It smells really good. It has like this type of almost like a lavender scent, but it says it's fragrance free, but it has like this really nice scent to it. It may not be lavender, but it smells really good, and it actually smells like the Lock Up spray that they have, the setting spray that they just came out with too. It smells like really good. They say it's fragrance free, but it has like a nice little scent to it, and it smells really good. So I'm just apply that in like basically all over my face. And then I am going to do like I normally do, which I didn't do the first time I recorded, and that is to basically set that primer in place and also create an even better like, what you want to call it, a better base for everything, and everything kind of feels smooth. I'm gonna go back over it with my damp beauty blender real fast, just to make sure everything's all nice and smooth. And I'm just going to just basically apply that all over my face, but mainly concentrating around like the corners of my nose and at the high points of my cheeks, because that's basically where I get the oils at. It's around the corner of my nose and at the high points of my cheeks. A little bit on my chin area, but I don't get too super oily right there, but I do get oily there, and some on my forehead. What this also does is also helps like the foundation to go on smoother, and I feel like it makes it a little bit more opaque or more pigmented. And let's get into that right there. So we're about to see if this powder makes a difference, because yesterday, or it was 2 days ago, when I actually made the video for this, like the coverage was like virtually none. And see, the thing with reviews, you need to always make sure when it comes to foundation reviews, you want to make sure that you're watching somebody that has similar skin issues as you. For instance, I have acne, I have really, you know, big pores, I have oily skin. So anybody that I watch when I want to get a review for anything when it comes to face products, I want to always watch somebody with the same skin concerns as me. And for the most part, it's mainly my acne dark marks or my dark marks or whatever. So I want somebody that likes full coverage foundation. I don't want to get somebody that, you know, thinks, you know, all foundations are full coverage, and that's because they have not an acne mark on their face. That's just not the case, okay? You can't you know, go with that person, because everything's gonna look or feel full coverage for them because they don't have any marks to cover up. So they can't tell you if it's really covering up anything because they have nothing to cover up. I feel like I got to somebody. I feel like I explained it to somebody. So anyways, when I tried it on a couple days ago, it was a no-go. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing that I did in the first video, and that is to try it out with the brush first, because that's the normal way of me trying out my foundations, is with a brush. And again, I did mix the colors D15, make sure D15, no, that's D10 and D40. I'm sorry, but I had to mix them, you guys, because it just was not working for me. So I'm just gonna stipple this on, and it's still not the perfect color, but it's close. It's definitely close to, you know, what I would normally wear. And I literally have mixed up about 3 pumps total. That's of them both together. So about a pump and a half of them both, but more of the D40 than the D10. Okay, a couple days ago when I first applied this, I'm telling you right now, it did not cover up not a single thing on my face. I literally went through 3 pumps of one color, and it was probably D40 by itself, and it was not covering up anything whatsoever. And honestly, this is doing better, and I feel like it's because of the powder that I put on first, but it's still a light medium coverage. It's definitely not a medium coverage. I cannot stand by and say that this is a medium coverage foundation. I just, like, this is, like I said, this is the second time I'm trying this on, and I do not feel like this is a medium coverage foundation. I feel like this is almost like a CC cream, BB cream type of thing, but it's buildable. And I'm gonna tell you how it's buildable. And what I did, again, working out the first trial run, which was a fail, I actually let the foundation dry down, matte down as much as it could, and that was in like 3 minutes. It, you know, basically matted all the way down to what it was gonna do. And then I applied another layer of foundation. So this is, like I said, this is the 3 pumps or so, and you guys, like, I'm gonna see if I can get close for you guys so you can really tell what I'm saying. And I'm looking like, okay, because I'm all up in the light, you guys. That's the only reason why it's looking all crazy. But I have like so many marks over here. I'm trying to see in this mirror. But I have a mark like right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a mark right there. I can tell. And there's like little dots like all over my face that I can still see through this foundation. So again, I do not feel like this is a medium. I don't think it's a medium coverage foundation. If you have dark acne marks, you're either going to want to color correct or you're going to want to build on this foundation. And honestly, I'm not the type of person that's going to continue to build on something. I mean, if I wanted the finish that this has in the end, I would apply it over something that I like to get it. But I mean, honestly, is it really worth it to do all of that work? And you know, you have to go from one foundation to the next. Don't quite like that. So you guys, I already have 3 pumps of foundation on my face, and I'm not even finished with my face, and that was from using my Real Techniques buffing brush. Now I'm going to take on my forehead, which I do have like a few dark marks, nothing like as bad as my, like on my cheeks or anything like that. And I'm going to take the Beauty Blender and I'm going to blend it out. And you guys, honestly, the Beauty Blender eats up this foundation. And again, it is definitely damp. Like really, like the dampest of the damp. Like it's almost dry. Like it's just like really eating up this foundation. So in my opinion, the Beauty Blender is a no-go until after you've done your foundation. I'm trying to get this all together for you guys. It's gonna be like another one of those long videos, but you guys know that I want to be as perfectly honest as I can with you guys. Hopefully you are somebody that, like I explained, you have the same skin concerns as I do, so you'll understand what I'm saying or understand how I'm feeling about it. But I'm gonna go over the area where I have those dark marks at, because it's pretty much kind of, you know, down to a satiny matte look. It's definitely not like a uncomfortable matte or super dry matte like the Rihanna foundation or the Estee Lauder foundation. It's not that matte whatsoever. It's definitely like a satiny skin like feel when it finishes up or dries down. Like I can literally, like, I can see in my mirror like my dark marks. And right now, because especially because I didn't color correct it, and you guys know I don't color correct anymore, like because I'm always using full coverage foundations, like they look gray. Like I just possibly should have color corrected. But again, when it comes to my foundations, I just don't, because they're all basically full coverage foundations. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys. In the end, I really did like the way the foundation felt and how good it looked with the rest of my makeup. And it's kind of like one of those don't judge a book by its cover type of things. You know, you don't always like the way your foundation may look until you do like your highlighting, your contour and everything like that, and then everything flows together correctly or the way that you want it to be. So I mean, this is definitely workable, because mainly all of my dark marks are in the areas where I'm going to highlight and I'm going to contour, so they end up being not seen, but I still like to cake my makeup on. If I wanted to go natural one day, this would be the foundation for me. But for the most part, you guys know I like to cake my makeup on. That's just me. But like I said, it's dried down and it actually looks really, really good for a natural day. But I'm going to highlight in this area anyways, because I can still see my dark marks. Again, this is a light medium coverage foundation, but I do like the way that it feels. It feels like literally like there's nothing on my skin. When it dries down to how far it wants to dry down, it's like a satiny matte skin like feel to it or look to it. And it actually reminds me of the NARS Naturally Radiant foundation, the very last one that they came out with. It really reminds me of that one, which it really doesn't look bad or feel bad, you know, especially like you're oily skin girl. I feel like you can, you know, fix it up to where it actually really, really worked. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, like, you know, set my face really well and do all my highlighting, contouring. But for the most part, you guys, like I said, it's a light medium coverage foundation. I think that's probably like my biggest, no, that's not my biggest problem with it. They need some in-between shades. I feel like they need a whole bunch of in-between shades for as the deep line goes, because again, I did have to mix two colors to at least get me this close. Because other than that, I was going to be super yellow or super red instead of like a nice in-between neutral shade. So I'm going to finish up my face and I will be right back. Alright guys, this video is already super long and I don't want to make it too much longer, but my final thoughts on this foundation is that I just wish I had, number one, my perfect shade in there or my very super close shade, but unfortunately I had to mix two shades to make, you know, me feel a lot better about the foundation. The foundation, again, like I said, is a light to medium coverage foundation, more on the light medium side. So don't feel like, you know, it really covered up my dark marks or anything like that. So I honestly went through about, you know, 3 layers just to get, you know, a decent coverage, but I still could see my dark spots, you know, just kind of shining or peeking through the foundation. They just look kind of gray on my skin. But ultimately, like I said in the video, you can, you know, add your highlight, your contour, your concealer, everything, and everything blends seamlessly with the foundation with itself. It sets beautifully. It has a nice natural skin-like finish to it. So I can definitely appreciate that. My skin looks like skin right now, and I can feel my skin. I can feel the air going across my face. It feels very amazing. So if you have oily skin and you don't have any dark marks, anything like that, I think you're gonna be, you know, in love with this foundation. But if you have dark marks or acne marks, anything like that, you're probably gonna want to color correct beforehand. And unfortunately, I don't like to color correct anymore, especially since I've found all of my top medium to full coverage foundations. I don't have that time anymore to color correct when I know that I can just slap on some foundation and it's already medium to full coverage. So I mean, like I said, it's to each his own for this foundation, but for me, like, it won't be something that I just reach for, you know, because I have to reach for 2 colors and I'll have to do so much work to get it to where it's looking just like this. Other than that, like, you know, I hope you guys find your right shade. I hope that you girls, you know, like the foundation. But for me right now, I'm just going to have to wait until they get a little bit more coverage with it, which they don't. And they were smart about that. They didn't, I read nowhere where it said it was a medium coverage, a full coverage, a light coverage, or anything like that. I did not see that in the pamphlet, anything. So they were smart about that. But I just wish it had more coverage. And you guys, again, I want to say that make sure that you're watching somebody that you can completely and wholeheartedly trust. Make sure that they have the same skin concerns as you. Other than that, you know, you're just going to be misled when it comes to this here foundation. And I don't want y'all to get misled. Don't get misled. Don't get, you know, caught up in the hype that, okay, CoverGirl has 40 shades and that's wow, that's amazing for a drugstore foundation. That's some super good hype, but the shade range for the deeper or on the deep or the dark side aren't completely there. So you know, just be aware of that. Be very aware of that. And you guys, I am going to also put in the video somewhere what lip color I'm wearing, which is going to be a CoverGirl shade, and it's called No Chill, and the highlight comes from the Katy Kat palette. It is the Hot Cat palette, which looks like this here. It's the one with the brown shades in it, which looks like this here. Super cute. It's the gold kitty that's in there. But I absolutely love the finished look. I like how it feels. I just don't like the work that I had to put in it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you stayed to the end. And if you stayed to the end, leave me some hearts down below. You know, just showing me that you had patience for me. And definitely thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.